Good morning, Michelle and my friends, and me and my group are going to discuss about the Gulf War oil spill in 1991. So I'm Sean,
Units.
and we're going to talk about it. So let's start.
The Gulf War of oil spill is the largest oil spill in history, and it happened in January 1991. And this, the Iraqi military intentionally dumped 13 million tons, cost 13 million tons of the oil into the sea, and this caused the Kuwaiti fires. And imagine that the oil that spill out can actually fill a car about 214 and 500,000 years.
Oh. So, as we have got progress so far, we are going to talk about the impacts of the Gulf War oil spill. So we have narrowed down to 4: human impact, political impact, environmental impact, and also economical impact. So let's start with human. There's a disclaimer here. We are going to use the statistic provided on the Gulf War, during the Gulf War. So there are over 1,000 Kuwaiti civilians killed, and more than 100 of them are missing. And for the Iraqi soldiers, there are over 10,000 of them have been killed. And as opposed to American and British soldiers were killed at 146 and 47. So it is a mutual destructive catastrophe that happened during the Gulf War. Let's switch to political. As we talk about politics, we need to talk about war, because this is a Gulf War. So I will simplify the Gulf War into one paper, which is here. So in August 2, 1990, the Iraq wants to annex Kuwait as their province in order to get the wealth from Kuwaiti oil. So of course Saudi Arabia is very angered by it. So Saudi will ally with Kuwait, and therefore the USA would supply, because they want to protect Saudi Arabia, to prevent from Iraq from keeping annexing Saudi Arabia in the future. So they keep sending weapons to Saudi Arabia and to Kuwait in order to protect them from Iraq. So in this case, the Arab League, which is a collection of Arab states, and also the EU, the European Union, collectively help Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. And this in return causes a lot of catastrophe and casualties. So what are the consequences involved? Let's start with Iraq. Iraq has been ties have been severely severed by countries, and their standard of living has been worse from past decades. For Kuwait, it has slowed down economic growth, and also they suffer huge loss, no matter it's economic, human, or environmental. And the last one, and the last two here, is economical and environmental. Let's start with environmental. As we know, oil spill has been damaging ecosystem worldwide. So let's talk about in the Persian Gulf specifically. So imagine that when we have the ecosystem in the Persian Gulf, 56 sea turtles, 33 poises, which is some kinds of a turtle, a dolphin, and then 32 dugongs, and also 1,500 snakes were instantly killed after the oil spill. And plus, dugongs are actually endangered animals around the world. There are only 3,000 left. If you kill 32 of them, that means that they will damage their reproduction and also the wildlife. And then over 1 million birds actually were at risk during the Persian Gulf, and coral reefs and as well as mangroves were severely affected. And last, we'll talk about the economical. As we talk about Kuwait has been slowed down economical after the Gulf War, let's look at their primary school enrollment at this graph here. As you can see in here, in 1991 and 1990, it has decreased from 85% to 60% due to the Gulf War. That means that students cannot go to school because of the war. And their GDP, which is called the gross domestic product, which is the total value of Kuwait, has been decreased by over $1 billion. And let's talk about the population. The population is steadily rising. After 1990, it decreased by about 5% and continued rising up in 1993. So that is how lost it is for Kuwait to suffer. So let's imagine again the money that has been lost from Kuwait, who have bought 57 wind turbines to power up 20,000 homes for a year. And imagine that will be having such a huge loss, which would damage Kuwait society.
And the recovery of the Gulf War oil spill occurred naturally. Up to half of the oil it disappeared from the sea by the evaporation and the degradation by the bacteria. And then the solution, the human action, about the human action, many of the oil companies cooperated together to scoop up the oil from the sea. And solution is just the part of saving the ocean, but prevention is the key. Have a comprehensive contingency plan in case of spillage, damage, or many problems with the pipeline.
This picture shows the Gulf War, and this is the Kuwait oil spill. The Saudi Arabian company in that picture is cleaning up all the oil that was spilled, and the oil heading to Saudi Arabia coast. This is the Kuwait oil on fire. Oil spill.
So as we can see, the Gulf War oil spill has been occurred really many times that have been damaged either by animals and also humans. So we therefore trying to find a solution for preventing further oil spills around the world. So that's the end of the presentation, but we'll start with our steps of how to do this, how we develop this project. So for step 1, we actually start planning to gather all the materials. So for example, research on the studies and case studies that have been known for the Gulf War oil spill, and materials such as the cards and also papers. And one unfortunate incident is that Chaifu has been occurred by accident during the delivery of the card. So we have a plan B instead. And let's talk about design was actually proposed by Eunice by this poster.
The reason why I burnt the paper was because oil spill was caused by humans, and like a lot of pollution. Like sometimes you see on the street they burn trash, and that was also caused by humans. So it's like a part of pollution in the world. And I burnt the edges too. I burnt the edges of the cardboard too. So it looks like we're causing all of these, and this shouldn't be happening. Yeah. I made the paint, I made it thick so it looks like oil was stuck on the seed.
Thank you very much.